Hey, how's it going, YouTube? This is Ren. As I mentioned on my Twitter, I'm gonna do a review of the Arbiter Akitsu Small that I got a while ago. Overall, I think the mouse is perfectly fine. There's no issues with the mouse or anything. Well, there's a few issues that I have, but I think they got clarified in like later batches because I think this was an early batch from when I bought it from Max Gaming. It's a Pixar's 3395, which haven't had any issues with, like haven't had any sensor skips or anything like that. It weighs around 38 grams, I think. When I measured it with the grips on it, it weighed closer to 40 grams, so it's pretty lightweight. It's like a Final Mouse Small, like ULX Small type of shape, with the side buttons being like in the center rather than forward. The encoder that it has in it is a TTC Gold encoder. It has a Nordic 52840, which is a fine MCU, so no issues with that. You can go up to 8K hertz polling rate as well. It comes with this actually pretty cool dongle. It's where it tells you like everything, because it does have a web software which is pretty good, but it also comes with like that dongle there, which you can change DPI and polling rates at the bottom of the mouse there. Actually pretty useful, like if you don't, it's pretty like plug and play if you don't want to like use any WebDriver software and you just want to plug it in and play with it. And then it comes in this really cool box, uh which comes with it, which just comes with like the grips. It opens up like this, and then you open it like a book. Comes with this like cool postcard that has like little instructions. Comes with like the cable in there and then the dongle. Doesn't really come with much else. So it's not like G Wolves or anything like that, where it comes with like a bunch of accessories. But it comes with enough to get you going. Now, after a week of use, though, I have experienced a few issues with this mouse. For one, it has no coating. Like, there is absolutely no coating, so the included grips are kind of a must, or some form of grips are a must, which I'm not a huge fan of, because I don't like putting grips on my mice, because it just like it doesn't feel as good. Like the grips that it comes with is perfectly fine though, because they're pretty thin. I don't know if you can see it there. They're pretty thin for grips, and they're relatively like they do the job. Another issue that I actually came across was at this side, like at this side, I have a bit of like creaking, and like I don't even need to push hard. Like I just have to push the about this much into the mouse, and like it creaks. Like I'll see if my mic can pick it up. Yeah, so that's an issue that I had with mine, and like when I'm playing for longer, that it kind of gets worse, and it feels very bouncy at that side. And then over here, if I press on there, it also like creaks like in this area. It also it creaks a bit, so it's a bit annoying with that. But over like there's no post travel or like free travel. It's pretty like snappy clicks. Like I have no issues with the clicks themselves. Just that like that little bit up there. And since I mainly play like Apex, I use the scroll wheel quite a lot for that. But with my 17 by 9 hands, it when I try to do the triple claw grip, I feel the scroll wheel's a bit like too far back for me, so I have to maneuver my grip to hold further back. But overall, like the scroll wheel is perfectly fine. Like it's rubberized scroll wheel, scrolls perfectly fine, no issues. The clicks work fine. I also don't like the positioning of the side buttons, because it really is meant for like fingertip. which like I'm fine with in other games, but in games like Apex, I can't really play with fingertip because I don't have the stability to do like wall jumps or anything like that. I still have the stock skates on the mouse. For me, they work perfectly fine. I have no issues with them on my Artisan Zero. I have zero issues with the stock skates. I tried adding dots on it, but I didn't really like how the dots felt because I felt like they were a bit too far down. So when I was like sliding around, I could feel like this design, the dragonfly design at the bottom, like scraping on my pad a bit. So it was a bit strange. So I didn't like that, so I changed it back to the skates that I came with, which like work perfectly fine for me. And on the coating, like it has no, since it has no coating, it's because it's made of like carbon fiber or carbon fiber composite, which honestly it just feels like plastic to me. I don't really notice a difference between this and my previous mouse, which was a Model O. I don't really notice like much of a difference between like plastic and carbon fiber composite. Like it kind of just feels like plastic to me. So I don't know how good that really is, to be honest. But again, like the biggest downside for me is that it doesn't have any form of coating, so it's just slippery. So after playing games, my hands tend to get a little bit sweaty. So after playing like a few hours of Apex, the mouse just feels like a bar of soap in my hands, and it just like it slides out. It's creaking at the side. Like I can't do it with that. Because that creaking, after a while, it gets so bad that it pops out from the back here, and when I push in on like the very edge here, then there's like some popping. Don't know if it picked it up there, but there was a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. So like it's a good mouse, but it's just not for me personally. As I said, it has a 3395 sensor. No issues with that. I had zero issues with like any sensor skipping or anything like that. What I did have issue though is going above 2k hertz polling. Anytime I try to go on 4k hertz or even 8k hertz, like just to try all of them, I normally play on 4k hertz. But when I tried to go on 8k hertz, the battery in this mouse, it died so quickly. Like when I was testing it for 8k, I had to charge it about like once every like a day and a half. It just like it went down, or even once a day for like heavy use. So I don't recommend 8k polling, at least on first batch. I think it's the first batch. And same with 4k. Like 4k as well, the battery died so quickly that like I had to charge it so often that I didn't really enjoy using it on those polling rates. So I stuck to like 2k hertz polling, and with that the battery was perfectly fine. And to be honest, I didn't really notice that much of a difference between 2k hertz and 4k hertz with this mouse, because the implementations was pretty good in my opinion. Like it's better than other mice. It's better than my Model O, that's for sure. But I do have coming from Max Gaming final mouse medium and a final mouse small for Frostlord. So I will, like, once they arrive and I test those, I'll do like a comparison of the two, see which one I like more, and like compare the two sizes between like the small final mouse small and this, and see like what exactly is the difference. Because for me, from the looks of things with the side buttons, I think I might like the final mouse small more, because the side buttons are more forward, and I usually use my side buttons to switch weapons really quickly, like when I'm playing Apex in battle. And the scroll wheel looks a bit more forward, which also would help for me in Apex. And because of my like small hands, I can pretty comfortably like claw grip this without any issues. And this is actually kind of like my preferred shape for claw grip. Like, I have no issues with the claw gripping like a small mouse like this. With my Model O, it was way too big for me, so like I had to palm grip it mostly or relax claw grip, and it just didn't feel that comfortable to me. Even this, my hands are like, as I said, 17 by 9, and even this, like I can pretty much palm grip like without any issue. Like that's how small my hands are, which it makes it hard for me to actually find like a good mouse to use. I want to try the new GPX Super Strike, or I think it's called. I do want to try that, but but one, the cost, it's 180 euro where I live, which is kind of like absurd, which is absurd to me, like for that kind of mouse. And two, like I don't think I would like it because it's a bigger mouse. I don't think it'll actually fit my grip style for it, but I wouldn't mind trying it. Like I might try get my hands on it someday and like do a review on it. But I'm not sure like if it's for me. A little bit more about like the switches though. They're using a custom like I think it's called like a Dragon Claw micro switch for the main clicks, which to me feel great. Like they do feel very bouncy. Like if you can see, there's like no like post or pre travel. Like they're very bouncy in my opinion. And then for they're using like a two pin low profile switch for like the side buttons, which also feel very bouncy. I don't have like any like push in into the shell. Like they feel perfectly fine for me. It's just like with the grips, they feel a bit small, and like they're kind of an inconvenient spot. For the middle click, as I said, they're using a TTC Gold, like dustproof encoder, so it feels good, like the scroll. But I will say, pressing it in, it does feel a little bit stiff. So if you're using that for like pinging things or like quite often, it might feel a bit stiff at first, and or it might feel stiff all the time. I haven't used it enough because I don't really use that to ping, because I have a bind to ping for enemies on my keyboard, because I don't like pressing into that, because I think it's too much like to do in one hand. I would like having to like tap strafe and stuff in Apex, but in other games it does feel like very stiff and really annoying to click over time. I'll give you a sound test of like all the buttons now, so that you can get like an understanding of what it'll all like sound like. Gonna be the right click and left click first. And then the side buttons. And then the scroll wheel. Yeah, so that's what it sounds like. To me, it sounds fine. The right click does sound a little bit higher pitched than my left click, just because like I don't use it as much, and it feels a lot. It sounds like a lot more crispy, I think is the best way to describe it, compared to like my left click. But I don't really have an issue with that. I'm from the Model low, so I don't have a good experience with clicks. So this like does feel like really good to me. But like it really doesn't have like any post or pre-travel. Like it's pretty instantaneous, pretty easy, pretty snappy as well. Like to spam if you need. The dongle, I know I mentioned it earlier, but it genuinely is really cool. The fact that like it gives you all the information. My camera can't focus. It gives you like all the information you need. Like it tells you your battery, tells you what your DPI, your polling rate, your LOD, motion sync, if you're like turned on and stuff. Like it gives you like all the information you need. So you really don't need to like use the web driver. But the web driver is good as well. Like if you want to adjust your DPI more, you can. I think you can adjust in increments of like 100. I think it was. I forget because I haven't really used it, because I found the right settings for me and then just stuck with that. I haven't really messed with it. I play with motion sync off, so I don't really know if it does anything, to be honest. I tried it once and I didn't really notice too much of a difference. I probably would have to try for a longer period of time to actually see like if it has any difference. Uh, I played with like 1700 DPI and I saw no like deviation or anything like that. Like it felt smooth to me. And said 2K hertz is the only polling rate that I recommend with this mouse. 4K hertz and 8K hertz just don't work. Like they really don't. I don't recommend them at all. If you want, go ahead, be my guest. Like just be warned that you will have to charge your mouse quite often. Overall, though, in conclusion, like I think it's a good mouse. I'm definitely gonna be using it until I get my final mouse, and then testing that, and then I'll see like if I want to switch or if I want to keep using this. But in conclusion, like I recommend the mouse. Like it's perfectly fine. I think the newer batches have like better quality stuff, and they released the medium size that has no side slits. Like on this mouse, there's little side holes as well that felt really weird. So that's why, again, the grips are kind of a must. To be honest, like without us, you're not really gonna perform like properly on it. So it's kind of a must. And I wouldn't mind trying the medium, but I think it's just gonna be too big for my hand. If I like the final mouse medium, I might like give the medium a go. But I also just don't like where the side buttons are positioned. Like they're too far back for me to like. If I wanna be able to use them comfortably, I have to kind of push it back and like use a very uncomfortable grip. When I grip kind of further up, where kind of the final mouse side buttons would be, and then like that's kind of how I play and find comfortable for myself. But yeah, I think that'll do for my review. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see ya.